3, 2, 1.
Laddie, what's up, brother?
How's it going, Luke?
It's going good, my friend. No hat today, I see.
No hat, no true hairline, no beard. Rough week last week. Had to change things up.
I got it. Hey, change is good, man.
Yeah, man. How about you? How are you?
I am spectacular. It has been a very, very good week. Things are moving along very quickly for Paid to Persuade, almost at a pace that has me questioning my sanity, but that's a good thing. That means that people are finding value in what we're doing, and it's very rewarding. There's Vic. What's up, brother?
What's happening, guys?
I'm good, my man. You're with Laddie and Eric, and Roger will be on in a minute. Jake has been, I'm not sure, ill or what, but I know he was actually moving. So, like I told you, Vic, the call is still small right now. So this is actually really, really nice because we get very intimate. And I've just got my assistant right now setting up my camera. What's that? Oh, you're okay. You're fine. I'm just letting them know why I'm not jumping right in and tearing at throats. All right. And we'll just give Roger a minute to get on. I see him logging on. All right, there he is. Okay, perfect. All right, guys, welcome everybody. Good to see everybody here. I have recently gotten off of a call where I was talking my ear off, so bear with me. I'm going to be drinking a lot of. Rocio, could you grab me another water, please? Roger, could you tell Rocio just to. Thank you. So, guys, what I want to do today, and just so you know, for those of you that were paying attention, I told you by today, I would be uploading my favorite 10 best practices for prospecting. Do we have alkaline water in there? If we don't, that's fine. Anyways, 10 best practices for prospecting. Okay, I've got it. We'll be uploading it. I'm just having some issues with the file vault. It's not accepting the PDF. I'm pretty confident, thank you very much, that it's my fault. So just so you guys are aware, anybody that was waiting for that, it's not been forgotten about. It's coming. It will be there end of today, if not worst case scenario tomorrow. Vic, what that is, we had a call not too long ago where I was discussing prospecting activities. A couple ways to leverage social media, and I told the guys I was going to upload into the file vault in the platform for them some stuff that just would help expand upon that. So we're going to be doing that. All right, so real quick, Vic is new to the group. I want to introduce Vic. Vic, I'll let you introduce yourself. Just let them know how you heard about Paid to Persuade and what you do.
Yeah, for sure. So I heard about it through Brad Lee's podcast, and we have a detailing business and then a detail supply company that we recently started as well. So that's more of a B2B business. Obviously, the detailing is both B2B and B2C.
Awesome. And Vic, you were in, I'm trying to remember, you were in another industry and you kind of made a move over, right? Food, was it?
Yes, yeah. I had 3 restaurants and 2 coffee businesses, and then in California. And then when COVID happened, just went straight down the tube.
Yeah.
So.
You know what, that's thank you for that. And that's actually something that I want to address, and I'm just going to touch upon it briefly. Who has been in their respective industry? I know, Vic, that's going to exclude you, but who has been in their respective industry for, let's say, 3 to 4 years or more, where they went through and survived COVID? Okay, 1, Eric. Okay, so Eric, if you could, what is a fundamental difference that you have seen between pre-COVID and post-COVID selling of automobiles? And Eric is a Ford dealer. It works at a Ford dealership, just so you know.
Wait, so before COVID happened?
Yeah, basically something like
during COVID.
No, before, like something that either existed or did not exist before COVID, okay, and then how it has changed. Like, let me give you an example, okay? I own 3 used car dealerships. One of the things that was blatantly obvious to me was before COVID, people price shopped a lot. People were very conscious of the cost of an automobile. They were conscious of interest rates. It was almost a living hell trying to sell a car because your customer came in the dealership so armed with information that, and a lot of it wasn't even good information, but you spent the majority of your time trying to overcome bullshit objections instead of just building rapport and selling something. And you had to show them that information they had wasn't factual. You had to show them why it wasn't factual. Then you had to try to first earn their trust to share those things with them because no one wants to hear from you, hey, your data's wrong. By the way, I'm a used car salesman, right? That's like, hey, your data's wrong. By the way, I'm an ambulance chasing attorney, right? Nobody trusts those people. So it was very difficult at that time. Now, coronavirus happens. There's a restriction on vehicle allocation. There's a restriction on the amount of cars that are available. Ergo, there's a restriction in the amount of trade-ins that come into the marketplace. So all of a sudden, used car dealers like CNY Drives here in Central New York didn't have cars to sell. Or if you were smart, like, I don't know, the owner of CNY Drives, handsome guy I heard. Anyways, you went out and bought every goddamn thing you could get your hands on because you knew it wasn't going to be that way forever, okay? And if you were a smart business owner, you said, sales tax. That's the driving force in my community. No more me selling my product, no more sales tax. For me, it was, well, we sell automobiles. They make up, I don't know, about a third of the damn sales tax revenue to the state of New York, the lovely, hungry state of New York. So they're not going to be able to turn this valve off for very long. So I went out, I leveraged every line of credit I had and almost every bit of cash I had in the bank. I bought every piece of metal that ran that I could get my hands on, and we had a beautiful 2022, okay? So after coronavirus, we rarely get people trying to negotiate price. They're almost just thankful to get a car, okay? After coronavirus, nobody balks on interest rate. We used to sell and close deals based on quarters of percentage points. Now people go, I think my credit union can get me 8. We're like, yeah, we're 9.9. Fuck it, it's only 17 bucks a month, roll it, right? And I'm being dead serious, guys. Roger's nodding his head because he was in the car business. Eric's nodding his head because he is in the car business. Vic's nodding his head, I think, because he saw something similar in his industry. And Laddie, I can't tell because he's bald. So the point being this, lot changed pre and post coronavirus, okay? So what I'm interested in right now is in my group here, my team that we're working with, who also maybe has a tidbit of information that they could share regarding that, because I've got a conclusion that I've drawn because of it, and I want to help you guys see that because it's going to help you, okay? So Eric, we were on you. Do you need to interact with somebody?
Yeah.
Okay.
Someone's looking at me, but I'll be brief. The biggest that I see is that customers want to do things more online, but not entirely. And those points where there needs to be customer interaction are the difference between someone capturing a deal and not capturing a deal.
At some point, you got to talk to a human being, and whether or not you can execute in that moment determines whether you're getting the deal or not versus taking the sale from start to finish. Is that what you mean?
Exactly.
Makes perfect sense. Okay. Laddie, do you have something you want to contribute there? Because you haven't been in Windows and Doors, or you haven't been in Windows to see through that whole time frame, right?
No, I haven't.
Okay.
Only a year.
Gotcha. Now, Vic, anything that you saw in your previous industry that you want to contribute?
Oh, sorry. Give me 1 second.
Yeah, you're good. Okay. Roger, what about you?
I agree a lot more with Eric. There's people want to start to shop online, but eventually you do have to speak to somebody. I agree with Eric.
Yeah, I would agree with Eric as well, that you tend to have and it's almost like now there's a smaller window by which you have to close the deal, but it also feels like the necessary effort to close the deal at that point is a little bit less because there's a lot more of the process that's been taken down at that point, okay? So that kind of leads in, and I wish we had Vic because I kind of want to segue appropriately with him there, but that kind of leads us to, guys, excuse me 1 second. I'm terribly sorry, but my general manager called in. Hey, what's up, buddy? I'm on Closers Club. I'll let you know in about 50 minutes. I got to talk to Angela. I would think North Syracuse, but I'll call you back. All right, bye. Sorry, guys. He was told only to call if it was an emergency, and that's not an emergency, so my sincere apologies. So what I want to talk about today is essentially the change in the consumer pre and post coronavirus, okay? Because it's not, and we're not getting into a conversation upon coronavirus, that's not what this is, but there's been a fundamental shift in how people behave. This was spurred by, and I've told you guys this about Closers Club, there's some times where I will have a planned perspective that I want to go through, and other times where something will stimulate me and I think it's very important and I want to talk about it, okay? So I just had a call with somebody that works in logistics for a major food distributorship, and this lady is in kind of a new role. She's being forced to almost create her role and her process, and she's struggling a little bit because she kind of feels lost. And what I want to speak upon is this, all right? It is the responsibility that is incumbent upon a salesperson to self-manage, okay? Now, we talk about this in the 0 to 60 mindset a lot, and I talk about this very extensively, almost to the point where when people were kind of, proofreading my system, or, Brad Lee was looking at it, or my wife was reading through it, and I wanted a lot of different perspectives, so I gave the scripts to a lot of people, where it was like, man, you spend almost as much time talking about, Vic, just to bring you up to speed, I was just discussing with these guys, we were all kind of drawing the conclusion that a lot has changed pre and post coronavirus. Consumers are a lot more educated online. There's a smaller window of time that you have to try to close them, but generally it requires a little bit less effort because they're very well researched online, okay? And I was also saying that what I have optimized today's conversation for has shifted, which it sometimes will, based on something that's occurred in my day-to-day activities, and I find to be highly important, okay? And I know that it's gonna help you guys. So what I was discussing is a woman that I was on the phone with, she works for a frozen foods distributorship, or a foods distributorship in general, and they're a big company that ships a lot of stuff, okay? And in shipping a lot of stuff, they then went, well, hey, why don't we create our own little subset of the company to ship our own stuff instead of paying all these people in logistics companies? They're a $1 billion company, so they're big enough to say, hey, why don't we just spend the money and create our own department? Pass or fail, we'll still make money, we'll just get rid of it and scrap it if it doesn't work. So this woman, who was recruited for this job role because of her efficacy in a similar job role at another company in a similar industry, is now in there and is like, I know I can do this. I know I'm a good salesperson. I know that I can make wine out of water. I'm just a little bit lost with how to exactly execute upon kind of getting the people in my funnel, what time to spend on prospecting, when I should be following up, how much time I should spend on following up, so on and so forth, okay? In the 0 to 60 mindset in the Pay to Persuade platform, and what I was talking about when you hop back on the call, Vic, was basically when I developed this sales training platform, I had a lot of people proofread the scripts. I wanted to know, hey, does that sound offensive? Hey, does that sound corny? Hey, is this something that you think people will want to hear? Is it valuable? And of course, the feedback I got was overwhelmingly positive, which is why I chose to spend all the money and create this damn company. But the bottom line is, the information that came back to me was, hey man, this 0 to 60 framework, this lifestyle and mindset piece is almost as lengthy as the sales training method itself. Don't you want to change that? And my response was, no, I don't. If anything, the sales training should be shorter and the lifestyle and mindset should be longer, okay? And the reason for that, guys, is here's the cat out of the bag, okay? Here's the wizard behind the curtain. And this is nothing that a sales trainer, personality, a motivational coach, no one's ever gonna say these things to you, because they're gonna feel that if they say them to you, that it's gonna limit their ability to earn profit from you, okay? Ultimately, guys, the process of selling is incredibly simple. It is fundamentally very simple. There is nothing about it that is overwhelmingly complicated. Quite literally, anybody can do it, okay? Here's what is difficult. What is difficult is continuing in a cadence over time to practice the same damn thing, okay? What is difficult about it is having even the discipline to practice, okay? The NFL, major sports, celebrities in Hollywood, these are people who spend, like, let's take for instance a NFL athlete, okay, or an Olympian. These are individuals that get up at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning to intake calories. They then go to an ice plunge. They then go to a warm-up workout. They then go to a high-intensity workout. Then to food again to intake calories. Then to another workout. Then to a period of rest and TV learning, where they're looking at competitors who are, they're watching game film, or they're looking at their previous matches and activities to try to critique their own movements. And then they're moving forward doing another work. My point is, guys, without illustrating their whole day, they'll go from 4 a.m. in the morning till 4, 5, 6 p.m., sometimes 7, 8, 9 p.m. in the evening, okay? Eric Helfman played college sports. He can tell you about how in-depth some of these practice days are, especially in the off-season. And guys, they're the best in the world at what they do because they spend the most time practicing and learning, okay? The reason that you guys are going to get better at what you do, number one, is because you're motivated and you've chosen to spend money and resources to align yourselves with an individual who you believe can bring you further and greater success, okay? Secondly, you've had the chutzpah, if you will, or the intestinal fortitude to make that investment into a particular product that's not cheap, okay? You're on this call and you've chosen to make the investment in this call because you want to further that dynamic and you want to get better by iterating with people who also do what you do, okay? This is quite literally the most effective way to hone your craft. You're doing it, okay? Now, as it pertains to the practice, the cadence of learning, so on and so forth, here's what you guys need to understand, okay? And this has been some of the most valuable information that I've ever received in my life. And I cannot stress to you the importance by which you receive this information and you understand it to be true. There is absolutely no difference between you and the owner of a business, okay? Now, Vic is the owner of a business, so I'm speaking right now in general to all of you, but it's going to resonate with Vic a little bit differently because he does own a business. Here's what I mean, okay? I'm a business owner. What do I do every day? I practice. I learn more about my craft. I educate myself. I go through my own sales training platform. I do it actually twice a week. I continue to further my knowledge. But here's the part that I want to resonate with you, okay? Guys, there is no prescribed method. There is not. There is no secret guide that I have on how to create a successful world-class business. There is no red bat phone on the corner of my desk when the shit hits the fan that I get to call and talk to the grand deity of business ownership and sales training and say, hey, I was doing it this way, but it's fucking up. I need the real way. What is it? I couldn't get it myself. And then get that deity-like answer. It doesn't exist, okay? So when somebody says to you in business, somebody who's a motivator like me or somebody who's a sales coach says to you, you know, really frankly, you can be as successful as you want to be. There's no ceiling to it. That is absolutely the reality, okay? And the sooner that you guys grasp that, the sooner that you're going to improve your abilities to sell and persuade, okay? Now, how do we draw those two things together, okay? Number one, understand that if you want to integrate differences in how you approach the customer based upon the information that you've received, you are more than welcome to do that. Not only are you welcome to do it, I encourage it, okay? The frequency of authenticity is what we leverage at Paid to Persuade, meaning we teach you how to be unapologetically authentic and resonate with your customer. Because when they receive you authentically, you increase the chances that they're going to buy from you 4 times. That's backed by science, okay? So how do you engage with somebody authentically? Well, the more you do things and the more you have things that are authentically yours, that you've created and you've come up with, the more you're going to be able to do that, okay? Now, Laddie, on the last call, I think it was the last call. I was in Florida on the last call by that loud-ass fountain. Yeah. You brought something to the table that you do with your customers that is, I believe it was, you were leveraging the human condition in the portion of the human condition where people want to feel like they're a part of something, and you created kind of a one-liner or a word track that you use and you say is highly effective. Can you share that with the class, Laddie?
Sure. So I start by saying that, thanks for having me out today. By the way, there's no pressure to buy today. You can call me back next week, next month, later this year, not at all. It's completely up to you. I'm really here for just, for you guys trying to figure out what's going on with your project, what you'd like to do. And when we get to the end of the appointment, if you're like most folks that I sit with and you want to move forward, I'm happy to help you with that as well.
Boom. So that's something that Laddie uses now, I'm going to assume, pretty frequently, yeah?
Yes.
Okay.
Every appointment.
Every appointment, okay. And it is, have you been tracking your closing ratio this past week since the last call?
Yeah, it wasn't great this past week.
Okay.
It was like 1 for 6, somewhere in there. Had a couple. I'm not going to blame anything at all.
I like
but it's
it.
home show season, so there's a lot of people, shopping around, looking for other quotes and stuff.
Okay.
So
let me ask you this question.
My best.
Okay.
Sure.
Is there 1 or 2 in there that you think you could have got done that maybe you fell short on or missed something and kicked yourself about later?
Yes, there was 3 that I had to fish. I still had fish on the line. Still got one kind of dangling, two that went away. So, but I've got a buddy that works for a competitor that I can kick him to and maybe pick up something on the back end if he goes and gets his product in there. So,
Okay.
totally
So
different kind of scenario, but
I understand. What I'm looking for is in the ones that you swung and missed on, that you look back at and you say, man, I think I could have got that. Do you have any of those?
I do. Yeah. I mean, there was 3 in there where even with, I price conditioned them and I was still in the house till the end and didn't get them.
Okay.
So they knew going in, how much it was going to cost for the most part, what it was going to be on a monthly basis, what the total job, scope was going to look like. And, I pretty much tell them, listen, if at any point, we're not the right fit for you, you can tell me, right? I take a no as graciously as I take a yes. I've got no problem packing up my stuff and going. But are you comfortable with $250 a month? Are you comfortable with $350 a month? Knowing the job's going to be $25,000 to $35,000. They're telling me yes.
Okay.
And then I keep going, and then it's, So actually, there's probably 4 out of the 6 that I ran last week where I was to the end, and I thought I had all of them.
Okay. So you got unpleasantly surprised on 4 in a row, or 4 out of 6. And looking back on them, you see that you were able to take them all the way nearly to the finish line, and then you lost them at the end. So let me ask you this question. Let's take one. Pick one out of them, okay? Did you ask them why they said no?
Yes, I did.
Why did they say no?
And, well, one of them, most of them it was more than we're willing to spend.
Okay. So, but here's the thing. You said to them earlier in the conversation, hey guys, it's $250, $350 a month. Are you comfortable spending that kind of money? And you said yes. Now we get to the end. I tell you it's $250, $350 a month. Or you want to spend that money? And you said no. Did you remind them of that?
I did. I had one situation where the wife didn't come. I had to run the appointment outside because they were sick, and the wife stayed inside. And then I said that to the guy, and he kind of hemmed and hawed. And he even brought up, listen, we can shrink this job size too to get what you want done, and drop the price and the monthly payment. And same response, pretty much from him. They start to backtrack, and this guy backtracked and was talking like maybe my windows aren't that bad, and I couldn't do like a full scope inspection like I normally do because they wouldn't let me in the house. The other ones,
Well, hey, Laddie, hang on. I want to go back to that one. Okay, we're going to isolate
Sure.
and get through these one by one. And guys, just so you know, okay, I'm going to do this with every one of you. Okay, so this is supportive. This is how we get better. This is not isolate somebody and show what they did wrong. This is isolate somebody and help them so the next time they've got the ammunition they need to solve. That's why you're here, okay? So, Laddie, with these people that were the lady was inside and he was outside, and you said, hey, it could be $250 to $350 a month, 25 to 35 grand. Are you good with that? He said yes. Mm-hmm. Okay. Did you then say, hey, but your wife is inside and she may not be good with that? Could you do me a favor and just run inside real quick, let her know what we may be looking at, just to see if it makes sense for me to even continue?
She was outside when I priced conditions, so
Okay.
she heard me initially. So she was there, she agreed, she didn't go and hide like sometimes will happen in those situations, right? The wife gets like all of a sudden so uncomfortable that they leave the room.
Gotcha.
No,
So
she was there.
Okay, so here, I'm going to role play this with you, okay? And I want you to be them, and I'm going to be you, okay? So we get to the end, and I say, okay, so guys, it's $32,788, and I just need to know if you guys wanted to go ahead and write a check for it, if you want to take advantage of the financing that we spoke about earlier.
Luke, I think it's just going to be a little bit too much for us now that we look at it, this whole project.
Okay. Laddie, I understand completely. It's a lot of money, right? The unfortunate part about home ownership is it can be very expensive, okay? And sometimes, most of the time, quite frankly, to be completely forthcoming with you, the cost of Andersen windows is substantially more than most people think it is. But yet, as you have seen, we have a large market presence, and the majority of the people in the market buy renewal by Andersen windows, so it wouldn't have happened for the past 10, 20, 30, whatever years if that were not the case. I do, however, have a concern, because I like to use people's time as efficiently as possible. And I never want to take time from somebody if I think I can avoid doing it if we're not going to be a helpful solution to them. Earlier in the conversation, I said to you, this project could be $25,000 to $35,000. And at that juncture, I said, if that is the case, do you guys want me to continue and go on? And you said yes. But yet now we're looking to potentially get the deal done, and you're telling me no. So what changed from that time until now?
Well, Luke, I mean, I don't know if our windows are really that bad. I was kind of calling you out here for, 4 or 5 windows, and, now we're looking at a little bit more to get it all done at once. The door needs to be done for sure. I mean, I don't know. It's just more than we want to spend right now. We were curious, when we called you out here, really, is what it was.
Makes perfect sense, Laddie. I appreciate you giving me the answer to that question. It helps me understand the situation a little better. I appreciate that. So originally when you called me out here, it sounds like the true need, what needed to be done was somewhere between 3 to 5 windows. It wasn't the whole house. Is that accurate?
Yeah, that's accurate.
Okay, so realistically then, when we moved on to quote the entire house, it sounds like it's become a little overwhelming. And because it's become overwhelming and you don't have a need to do the entire house, it doesn't make sense for you to move forward. Would it be fair to say that?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay, I appreciate that, Laddie. But what we do know, based on our current conversation, is that you do need the 3 to 5 windows, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so no questions asked. We need 3 to 5 windows to get done. Understood completely. Now, let me ask you this question, Laddie. Based on what you've seen today, do you believe that per unit, each individual window and the product that I've showed you and the amount that it costs, do you believe that an Andersen window per unit is the wisest expense of your money?
That's kind of where we're not really sure, Luke, to be honest with you.
Okay, that honesty is crucial, Laddie, and that's what I appreciate, because that's the only way I can help you, by either getting off your lawn and saving you the time or trying to move forward and assist you further. So it sounds like you don't think that per window that an Andersen window is the best bet. Am I hearing you correctly?
That's correct.
Okay, and I appreciate that completely. Now, what I look to do, Laddie, now what I'm going to do, I'm going to get packed up and get rolling here in just a minute, and I really appreciate y'all's time. Very nice people, and it's been a pleasure speaking with you. But, Laddie, I always try to get better at what I do, okay? Anytime I leave a place, and you guys know, I get paid to sell windows, yeah? The more windows I sell, the more money I make. So I want to be better at what I do, yeah? So all I would ask is just so I can get the information from my superiors, essentially, Laddie, I'm going to go back to the Andersen people. I'm going to say, hey, listen, Laddie and his wife, they don't think our windows are worth $3,500 a pop, man. And I explained all the features and the benefits to them, but they said, what should I tell them, Laddie?
That it's just not in our budget. We were just kind of curious. We see your ads running all the time. We didn't know what your windows cost. We saw you at the home show. We're out there just kind of perusing, looking around, and, we see you on TV. So we figured we'd stop by your booth, and they gave us this little 5% discount. We just didn't know that you were $3,500 a window, right?
Right. Understood completely. So, again, I'm going to revert back to earlier in the conversation when we kind of price conditioned, and we do that, Laddie, because we don't want to take up unnecessary time from a customer. We mentioned it was going to be $2,500 to $3,500 a window, and you said yes, I'd like to proceed. Now, when we got to kind of the tail end of things and we quoted the whole house and it became $35,000, it makes perfect sense to me why that would be a pain point. We wouldn't want to do that because you guys don't need a whole house of windows according to you, and it's your house, you know best. So help me get from where you knew you needed 5 windows and you knew they cost $2,500 to $3,500 a piece, and you asked me to continue moving forward until now where you don't any longer believe that they're worth $2,500 or $3,500. That's what I'm trying to solve for.
You know, Luke, you seem like a nice guy. You drove all the way down here. You know, I wanted to give you the benefit of the doubt and see the full, you know, what it's all about, what Renewal by Andersen is and the product and your company. And, you know, I apologize for wasting your time. But you know, it's just right now, it's not going to be what my wife and I are comfortable doing.
Understood, laddie. And I appreciate you being so honest and forthcoming with me, because when you're a salesperson and you go home for the day and the customer doesn't share with you the information, you kind of wonder, hey, where did we go wrong the whole way, right? So it sounds like once we got to the point where I explained the price to you, that at that point, you really were disinterested then, but you just kind of let me keep going because I seemed like a nice guy. Is that accurate?
Well, I mean, I really wouldn't put it that way. We were interested, but, you know, when we had a little bit of time to chat with each other, you know, when you went back to your truck for a minute, you know, we just kind of thought things over again, and it's just too much right now, taking on that chunk for us. You know, we just don't want to do it.
Okay. So you guys won't be getting windows?
Well, we don't know. Maybe not. You know, we might see what's going, you know, what else is out there, or, you know, or we might put the project off. You know, who knows? Maybe we're going to put a, you know, for sale sign in our yard next year. We don't know what we're doing right now, Luke, to be honest with you.
Understood completely, laddie. It makes perfect sense. I get it, okay? It's part of life. Sometimes we just don't know. The question I would have for you is, if I sold you all these windows and installed them for $1,000, would you be buying windows today?
For $1,000 for
Yep.
Renewal by Andersen windows?
Yep.
Yeah, I think you'd be a fool not to do that, but I'd be a little cautious and leery on, you know, $1,000 that many windows, kind of the quality of what's going to be done. But yeah, I mean, if I got the Andersen name behind it and the warranty behind it for $1,000, yeah, I would do it.
Yeah, me too, laddie, obviously. I think a fool wouldn't, right? So that kind of lends me to this question. You just said to me, and it makes perfect sense, you're a very intelligent guy, I would be concerned with the quality that came with a much lower price tag, because obviously you're a logical human being, and it really wouldn't make sense for something to get installed in my home that costs that little, because it's almost impossible, let's call the reality what it is, that there could be any type of quality behind that product. I mean, you just said it yourself. So then my only question before I get going, laddie, is just, so what's your threshold then for dollar versus quality? What window company comes on the lawn and quotes you a price for a mediocre window and gets your business? I guess what I'm saying is, for a subpar product that you know doesn't even scratch the surface of a Renewal by Andersen window, which, by the way, laddie, you speak about Renewal by Andersen so fondly. The window, the name that comes with it, the entire process, the song and dance, the warranty. I mean, you obviously know the value there. So my question is, for a subpar product that comes in and doesn't hold a candle to the window that you obviously want, what's the price threshold when you're willing to sacrifice quality for quantity?
That's a good question, Luke. I really don't know what that number is. You know, it's kind of one of those, if we can't afford Andersen right now, we're just going to have to circle the wagons a little bit and start thinking about, you know, what that number is and who we're willing to talk to and trust in our home to put the windows in. We know we need 4 or 5 windows. We don't really need the other ones that we kind of looked at today. You know, it's just, like I said, it's beyond what we want to spend. You know, I did make the mistake, I guess, of letting you continue. You seemed like a nice guy. I didn't want Well, I ended up wasting your time either way. You could have driven down here and I could have flipped you out of here in 20 minutes. It just, I think if, they would have let us know what the windows cost before you got here, we probably wouldn't have set up the appointment, to be completely honest with you, Luke. Can't find what you cost online. So you're a big, intimidating guy. And didn't want to waste your time. It's just one of those things. I apologize, Luke.
Laddie, I appreciate everything you said, especially about the big, intimidating part. I worked real hard to be this big. So, listen, I understand what you're saying completely, and it makes perfect sense. And, Laddie, understanding working for a company like Renewal by Anderson that does not disclose or outwardly advertise their prices, it can be very difficult. But you said something that makes a lot of sense, and it is the reality of what we do at Renewal by Anderson, okay? If the individual knows that windows cost $25,000 to $35,000, they're never even going to ask you to come into their house, okay? But do you know how many houses have Renewal by Anderson windows in them, Laddie?
I don't.
Okay, I'm going to lean on you for that statistic, Laddie. Let me say, 25% of all homes maybe, or what would be a relevant thing?
We're in about 35,000 houses a year just in Western Pennsylvania alone.
Okay, perfect. So, Laddie, just in Western Pennsylvania alone, we're in 35,000 houses, okay? These are the houses that bring the most money when it comes time to resell. These are the houses that have the highest level of efficiency when it comes to power bills. These are the houses that have the safest windows when it comes to little tykes running around and swinging baseballs and hitting balls through windows, okay? So the reality is, the reason our company has it set up this way is because there are plenty, 35,000 minimum just in the Pennsylvania area alone, that need this product. Once they are presented with the product and they know they have a need for it, they then engage with the product. It's kind of like, Laddie, if you go to the dentist, right? And he tells you that you should get a cleaning. You get the cleaning. Well, then he takes an x-ray and he discovers a whole bunch of work that must be done that if you don't get done could cause gum disease, could cause decay, could cause issues. You would have never spent this money. You would have never walked into the dentist and said, hey, I want $3,500 worth of dental work. But when he shows you the damage on the x-rays and he shows you that the next piece of hard candy that you bite into is going to collapse one of your molars and cause you a terrible toothache, you might want to go ahead and get that done. So what we do at Renewal by Anderson is we practice preventative maintenance, okay? We try to get in and solve the problem before it starts. Now, the reality of the situation, I understand completely, is there's quite a bit of sticker shock going on here, okay? We've brought in the product, we've showed it to you, and it's just a heck of a lot more than you wanted to spend, okay? But I asked you a question, and your answer to that question interested me, Laddie, and that was, you couldn't really gauge where the threshold was, where you actually wanted to sacrifice quality to save money on the price. Laddie, the reason for that, I believe, is because you are an intelligent guy. You had Renewal by Anderson come out here because you know it's a quality product. You know it's second to none. You know you can't get anything like a Renewal by Anderson window in your home. And quite frankly, I think you really want these windows in your home. But you also understand that sometimes it just doesn't make sense to spend the money. Would you agree with that statement?
Yes.
Okay. And right now it sounds like it doesn't make sense to spend the money. Is that also something that you would agree with?
Yes.
Okay. Now, Laddie, you told me if we could give you Renewal by Anderson windows for $1,000, yeah, you might buy them, but you'd be pretty concerned at the quality that was getting installed in your home because Anderson windows don't cost $1,000, and you know that, okay? So that leads me to believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, Laddie, but you were confident. You knew it was going to be more than $1,000, but you didn't know it was going to be $3,500. You were kind of hoping it was going to land somewhere in between, and if that was the case, we probably could have earned your business. Would that be a fair assessment, Laddie?
Yeah, probably closer to, more closer to 1,000 a window probably would have been, something that we would have jumped on for sure.
Makes perfect sense. Obviously, it's not in the realm of reality, but at least it gives me a tangible idea to attach myself to. Now, when I came in here, you mentioned you weren't aware of the financing, okay? The reason we offer that financing, Laddie, is because of exactly this reason. Sometimes people are gated by the price point. They can't continue to interact with us even though they want to. Just like you, it doesn't make sense to interact with us at this juncture, but you really, truly want to. So that's why we leverage the financing. So, Laddie, let me ask you a question. You said that, $1,000 a window or closer to $1,000 a window was kind of more what you had prepared for. So I'm guessing like $1,500, $1,600 a window is somewhere where you would have done business. Is that accurate?
Yeah.
Okay, so 1,500 bucks a window times 5 is what? 7,500 bucks. So you're planning on spending 7,500 bucks. Okay, we're telling you for 5 windows it's going to cost you 3,500 bucks. So that's 17,500. Okay, so there's a $10,000 difference between what you're looking at and what we're looking at, and it has to do with the quality of the window. Let me ask you a question, Laddie. If I could do two, normally I can offer you financing to try to ease the blow on the money, or I can offer you a discount to try to ease the blow on the money. Now, I quite frankly don't know the answer to this question, but I'm always willing to try. And the reason I'm willing to do this, Laddie, is number one, because I want to close the sale. Don't get it twisted. I get paid to sell windows. So I appreciate that you said you wasted my time, Laddie, but I never waste my time. It's always a learning experience, and I get to meet a nice individual like yourself. You're a hell of a nice guy. You haven't said a cross word to me, and I'm sitting here selling the bricks off you, right? So I appreciate the interaction that we're having. However, I don't want to walk out of here not having turned over every stone that I possibly can to try to help you. Because at the end of the day, Laddie, if you get the Anderson windows in your home that you want, and you get them for a price that you could make sense of, you win. And if I walk out of here having engaged with you and done business, I win. So the win-win is what we always optimize for. Obviously, we're human beings. So the question I have for you is as follows, Laddie. If I get on the phone with my management, the people who send me out on these house calls to do, and I can get them to give you a discount and give you the financing to where the price per window is a little bit closer to what you're looking to spend, but we can also bust it up over time. Because here's my thought, Laddie. You guys were gonna pay 7,500 bucks to get windows. So that money is already accounted for. We're looking at the difference, which is that 10. Now, if I can get that discounted maybe closer to the 7 or 8 mark, so it's only, 7,500 bucks instead of 10 grand, and then bust that up over a period of time to where it's only, 100, 150 bucks or something like that for you to get the windows that you want, would that not be worth me making a phone call?
Do you want me to tell you what I can really do in my real job? Because I can't do that.
Okay, well, again, so let's pretend that we were with, I don't know. So let's pretend we were within the confines of that. Can you give a discount and finance?
No.
Okay, so what can you do?
My hands are tied.
Your hands are tied. So what is the financing gated with?
Well, I could, cash price and financing are the same exact price.
Okay,
So
but my question is,
there's
if they get a discount on the windows, they can't finance them.
No, they can't.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying is I came to the table with a discount or financing. What I'm saying is I'm using the tools that were given to me to try to show that I could potentially give you a once in a lifetime great grandiose deal that's only good today to try to create urgency, okay? So what I'm doing here, and we don't necessarily have to continue the role play, okay, guys? But what I'm showing you here, do you see how I'm systematically disassembling each thing? I'm circling back, reminding them of what they said, moving forward. Now, here's what I'm getting to, okay? And I wish Vic didn't exit the call because this is the whole fucking learning point right here. But anyways, okay, he's running a business. I understand completely, okay? The whole learning point is here. So just do me a favor. Humor me. Let's pretend everything I said went within the confines of reality, okay? And so, Laddie, would it not be worth me making that phone call for you?
Sure, that would be, yeah.
Okay.
You can make the call, Luke.
So, I know I can make the call, Laddie. I can pick up the phone and call if I want to. My question is, does it make sense for me to spend that time to make that call? If I can get you the discount, if I can get it down to like 8,500 bucks or 8 grand instead of 10 grand, and I can get the financing for you, so it's only a few, a couple $100 a month, 150 bucks a month, basically less than 200 bucks a month, okay? To where you're talking, $3 or $4 a day, the same as the cost of a cup of coffee, to get you the windows that you want in your home, lower your energy bill, protect your kids, beef up your home security, and get you something that you ain't gonna have to buy again in 5 years. Would that make sense, and could we earn your business today?
Yes.
Okay, so he could have very easily said no, right? So here's what I'm trying to show you. I'm not trying to show off. I'm not trying to show you guys, ooh, look, I got Laddie to a yes. That's not what this is about. I would have been just as equally satisfied if he'd have said no, okay? Well, probably not really. There's probably something about me that likes that yes, because I'm a salesman. But my point is this, okay? If we get to that point and he says no, okay? what you have established is you've moved it as far along the wagon as you can, as the path that you can, okay? And there ain't nothing there, okay? So what I would say to Laddie, okay, I would have probably done a little bit more at the outset, okay? What you're, I'm not gonna be bashful. I would have done a lot more at the outset, okay? In qualifying the customer, okay, I'm gonna be asking these questions, okay? Now, here's what I know, and I can, feel free to disagree if you believe it's necessary, but I've very rarely ever had a customer where I've said, the truck costs 35 grand. If the truck makes sense and it's 35 grand, are you gonna buy the truck? And they say yes. And then we move on, we test drive, we do everything else. And then I say, okay, you wanna buy the truck? And they go, no. And I say, okay, well, was it the test drive? No, truck runs and drives great. Okay, so the truck runs and drives great, yes. Was it the term of the loan? No, the financing's fine, I love everything. Well, what's the problem? Well, the truck's $35,000. I didn't really come in today wanting to spend $35,000. I'm gonna say to them, dude, you told me you would spend $35,000 on this truck if you liked the truck. Because guys, it's about logic. Fundamental, logical, and obvious. This is the flow of flow selling. You know for a fact that they would not have said, yes, I will pay that money unless they planned on paying that money. Unless, only the following reason, they're a jerk off, okay? And they're wasting your time, okay? Now, I feel like Laddie might be in a line of work where he has, I don't feel like, I know that Laddie's in a line of work where he has to, Laddie, here's the learning experience of today. This is gonna be what I want you to walk away from this call with, okay? You, sir, and everybody, okay, but particularly for Laddie's industry, you need to really drill that down, okay? Because here's what I know. Okay, and Laddie, I'm not accusing you of anything. I'm speaking on the generalities that I know that I've seen throughout my travels of sales training, okay? People will do this. So, generally renewal by Andersen Windows to fill a house full of windows could cost $25,000 to $35,000. A lot of people don't know that. We get here, we say that to them, they say, hell, get off my lawn. You guys want me to get off your lawn or you want me to continue moving forward? No, you can continue moving forward. Okay, boom. And then we go, all right, well, they know that a house full of Andersen windows costs 25 to 35 grand. We're good. No, you're not. No, sir, you're not. Don't kid yourself and think that you are, okay? And Laddie, if you're not, I'm not directing this towards you. I'm just speaking in generalities. What I'm saying here is this, okay? Okay, so guys, today, now this is what you do as a paid to persuade trained salesperson. So guys, just to reiterate, because you kind of move by that pretty quickly, a house full of Andersen windows, 25 to 35 grand, you're saying that like you know that. I'm just making sure that it could cost that to get your house full of windows. Yes, I understand. Okay, great. So you mentioned you need 7 windows, okay? That could probably run us somewhere between $15,000 and $20,000. Just want to make sure you want me to continue the conversation. Yes, I do. Okay, guys, and then you take a step back. Guys, listen, I'm not trying to frustrate you. Understand this. I've said to people a house full of Andersen windows could cost $25,000 to $35,000. Do you want me to continue? And they say, yes. And then we get to the end and I say, okay, it's $25,000. And they go, well, knock it down to 11.3 and you got a deal. Because they think we have some ridiculous amount of markup in our windows that we don't freaking have. So guys, understand that I've given 4-hour presentations before and taken up half my day only to have somebody break my chops like that or say, yep, and you guys can finance that even though we don't have any credit, right? Okay, because people with no credit will finance anything as long as they can have it, okay? So guys, what I'm saying to you is, please don't take that as me being pushy or nosy. I just wanna make sure I'm making as effective use of your time and my time as possible. Now, that being said, I have some really nice incentives going on right now where I can actually ease that blow a little bit, and I'm looking forward to presenting them to you. But let's get to the important thing. Where are these windows that you need? And then walk right away from it and get in the other direction. Because I'm going to tell you something, I'd say, ladies and gentlemen, but you're all gentlemen. When you get somebody to okay the price condition, as Laddie calls it, or whatever you want to call it, okay? I call it just gauging the temperature. When you get somebody to okay that, you've got a deal. It's done. Right then and there, okay? Understand that, Laddie. You said a house full of Andersen windows costs $25,000 to $35,000, and I just want to make sure you're aware of that before you move forward. Yes, we're aware. Okay, so just to be frank, by the time this is all said and done, when I show you what these things cost, and you know it's not 12.3 like your bargain basement Mr. Second windows from the local construction guy, that you're getting the quality of Renewal by Andersen, but it's going to cost you 20 to 30 grand. We're not going to be asking me for discounts and telling me to get off your lawn, right? Well, no. Okay, great. You've got a deal. It's done. Start optimizing for gross profit, okay? Learn to recognize your price condition and act upon it, okay? Now, the person says, well, Jesus, 25 to 35 grand? Yes, for a house full of windows, it can cost that much. But I notice on your order here, it looks like you need 5 windows. Yes, okay, well, we can start there and we can move out from there. But generally, Renewal by Andersen are what, 25 to 3,500 bucks a window? Okay, they're generally 25 to 3,500 bucks a window, Mr. Jones. But what people don't genuinely do is take into consideration that these windows have a, how long of a warranty?
20-year.
20-year warranty on them, okay? A lot of people replace windows every 5 to 10 years, so they end up tripling or doubling the cost anyways. What we do is we get a window in there that just lasts for the entire duration, is under warranty the entire time, so you don't have to do this process every few years. And that's why people leverage us, and that's why we're in 35,000 homes just in the whatever, mid-eastern Pennsylvania area or whatever, okay? But the moral of the story is this, guys. Get comfortable being uncomfortable. Okay, I say that all the time, and it's in the console, it's in the training for a reason, okay? For me to sit here and say, a house full of Andersen windows costs $25,000 to $35,000, just want to make sure you know that before we proceed. Yeah, okay. Mr. Customer, yeah, okay. Well received, okay? But again, I'm here to optimize for your time, okay? Now, there are some incentives that I'm going to offer you a little bit later for doing something sooner than later, and they will ease the blow on the pricing a little bit, but it's not thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. So you're going to be in that realm when it comes to furnishing your house with a first-class product like Andersen Windows. I just want to make sure that when we get to the end of this thing, and I'm talking to you about a price point that's between 20 and 30 grand, you're not telling me, hey man, I didn't know it was that much. Because if it is right now, sir, we got to talk about it now, and we got to solve for this now. Otherwise, I cannot give you the full breadth of the display, and I can't give you all the information, and I can't really optimize this to solve for you if I know that we're going to be arguing over nickels and pennies at the end of this conversation. So all I need right now, here's the word, permission. All I need right now, based on the information I just gave you, is permission to continue with my demonstration. Do I have your permission? They say, yes, you have sold windows, okay? Does anybody not understand why I can say that when they say yes, that you've sold windows or that you've sold your product? Okay, when you say to somebody, Roger will tell you, okay? Any sales call that I've taken or that he's taken, when the customer's talking to us about sales training, I do not wait until the end to tell them how much it costs, okay? Laddie, you engaged with Paid to Persuade before you met me, okay? Eric, same thing with you. So I don't have Vic or anybody else on the call right now that's bought it on a sales call with me, but they would tell you. In the first 5 minutes of conversation, I'm like, by the way, it costs $2,000 to even get over the threshold of this company, so I wanna make sure that that's okay with you before I keep going, otherwise we should end the call right now. Not because I don't wanna talk to you, and not because I don't have other products in the inventory that are less than $2,000, but here's what I say to people, guys, and this is the reality, and that's why this group is so small, and it's gonna be growing very fucking quickly. I know I keep saying that, but we have not got the right marketing person in, and I believe we just secured them today. But anyways, I digress. My point is this. The reason that I'm only interested in working with people who will spend that, and I'm not gonna Andy Elliott and Grant Cardone and Jeremy Miner my way to $97 a month in a SaaS subscription to give you bits and pieces and try to upsell you, is because I don't want to engage with people who cannot pool $2,000 together to learn life-changing shit, okay? You should feel exactly the same way about the product that you sell, okay? When you walk into a house, laddie, it should be like, listen, motherfuckers, this thing costs big money. You want to keep talking or not? Dude, I'm dead serious, bro. And I know it's funny the way I bring it to the table, but that's gotta be your energy, okay? Because here's what's gonna happen. If you got a tire kicking jerk off, you're gonna know at the outset, okay? So here's what the statistics say. If you do that, if you, right off the get-go, the people who would have said no at the end of the conversation are actually going to have a shot at buying it because you're going to get it out of the way right up front. And then, ready for this? You can optimize the entire conversation, getting them out of the clouds and back to reality. And down goes the camera. Down goes Fraser, Rocio, red alarm, red alarm. Okay, guys, when you create that understanding of the cost at the outset immediately, okay, you do two things. Number one, you get a deal immediately. If they're like, yeah, I know how much it costs, keep going. It's like, haha, thank you, because you're going to have a deal, okay? Now, if they were one of the people who was going to say no at the end, about 30% of those 100% are now going to go, oh, shit, I didn't know that. Well, let me ask you a few questions because they really want your freaking product and they're going to allow you to sell to them, okay? But the 70% of that 100% that were never going to be a deal in the first place, now you can kiss off, ladies and gentlemen. You can get rid of them and then get to your next appointment. Optimize for where the money is. The only one thing that I caution you guys, don't be freaking lazy because this is what salespeople do. Ford Maverick cost $28,500. Oh, yeah, well, that's a little expensive. Nope, there's nothing there. On to the next one. And they let themselves off the hook too easy. You still got to be a goddamn salesperson, okay? Pay to Persuade sales training costs $2,000. $2,000? My God, your competitors are like 100 down and 200 a month. Good. Did you buy their product? Well, I did. Yeah. How you doing? Yeah. Why are we on the phone right now? Because you're closing at 75%? No, apparently there's still a void that needs to be filled. Let's have that conversation, okay? Or it's renewal by Andersen Windows and they cost 25 to 35 grand and the person goes, well, dude, I got quoted by Joey's Construction and they told me they can get windows from Home Depot and put them in my house for $10,500 for the whole house. Good. I noticed that there's not windows in your house. Why didn't you go with that quote? Well, because I wanted to hear what you had to say. Why? Well, because, and then guys, ready? Here's what you do. You get them to tell you what you're going to say to them, okay? Well, you didn't go with them. Yeah, I still wanted to hear what you had to say. Oh, why? $10,500, that seems really cheap. I mean, I can't touch that. $10,500 for a whole house full of windows? My God, 3 of my windows cost $10,500. So why didn't you go with them? Well, because I wanted to hear what you had to say. Okay, I hear you. But why? What is it about renewal by Andersen that had you still wanting to hear our price knowing it was more? Well, ready? Get your notepad out because then they're going to, well, because your windows are higher quality. You come with a 20-year warranty. You guys offer financing. My neighbor Joey has yours. My uncle Linda has yours. My sister Jessica has yours. And they're a great quality window. And when I was a kid, I saw Andersen. They're going to give you every goddamn thing you need to know, okay? So, Vic, just real quick. What I'm discussing with these guys is the price conditioning of an individual right off the bat, okay, at the outset. Now, were you still hearing or were you off the call completely?
No, sorry, I was off the call.
That's okay, bro. You're a business owner. You got to make money. I understand. But what I want you to do is still be able to draw away the overarching theme of this conversation. And I'm going to give it to you we started at, I think, 5 after, so I'm going to give you a 6-minute, brief, concise rundown of everything that went on today's call. Okay, is everybody else okay with that, me doing that for Vic? Okay, so we're a team here, guys. Thank you very much. So Vic, essentially, Laddie, we were doing a role play, okay? And what we discovered, we ended up getting there, we ended up selling him, we ended up getting the deal, okay? But what we did essentially is we kept putting it back on the customer, okay? So, you know, it all came behind this, okay? Price conditioning the customer at the outset, okay? Paid to persuade discipline. What we teach is to gather information and compassionately interrogate all the information from the customer at the outset. We don't want to be talking to a customer saying, hey, you know, what are you looking at buying detail supplies for? Oh, I have a car dealership. Oh, okay, great, awesome. You have a car dealership, looking to buy detail supplies. Okay, on to question number 2. Have you taken any of the online training since you got it, Vic? Have you gone through some of it yet?
I'm going through the 0 to 60 framework.
Going through the 0 to 60. Okay, so when you get to the sales training, you're going to learn about the big 3. What brought you here today? What is your buying power? And what did you hope to accomplish today? And what I'm explaining to these guys and what you'll learn also when you start getting into the P2P method is that these questions are not as simple as just that question, okay? For instance, hey, I'm Vic with Oklahoma Detail Supply, okay? We're on this call because you mentioned that you want a detail supplies, Okay, let me ask you a question. What has you in need of detail supplies? And that's what brought you here today. So when I built this platform, it was not optimized for, but because I was a used car dealer, a lot of things come out looking like tangible asset sales. So part of what I do on these calls and in general is to draw the similarities across all industries, okay? So what you do is you understand that it's what brought you here today, meaning to this call, to this conversation, to where we're at right now, like what brought you here, okay? So I'm a car dealer, I own 2 car dealerships, I wanna get some detailing supplies. Okay, great, on to the next question. No, not on to the next question, because they did not answer your question. They own 2 car dealerships, that's not what brought them here today, okay? What brought them here today is, I own 2 car dealerships, I'm currently buying supplies from Torque, I don't like how much their prices have increased, and I don't like the quality of their paper towel dispensers because they're shit, so I'm giving other people an opportunity to do business with me, and I'm getting quotes right now. Oh, okay, now I can move on to the next question. No, because that's not just what brought them here today. Okay, understood. Let me ask you a question, Mr. Customer. How did you hear about Oklahoma Detail Supply? Oh, and this is where you learn why it's so important, Vic, because then the guy goes, oh, well, you know Jeremy Lynch, who owns Greater Oklahoma Used Cars, and you do his detail supplying, so he referred you to me, so that's why I reached out. Oh, look, now you have trust, common ground, a referral, and immediate rapport. Well, and then you're going to know something about that customer, Jeremy Lynch. Oh, well, if you know Jeremy, you know he's a numbers guy, and he analyzes everything down to brass tacks. Again, I'm just pulling shit from the sky right now, but I'm giving you examples. And you know that if we weren't a good product and we didn't scrutinize the costs very deeply and make sure there was a lot of value here, then he would never do business with us. Yeah, I know. Good. Well, now that you know we're the best choice financially, let me show you why we're the best choice based on quality and service. And you're leveraging the fact that he's a referred customer and you're closing him because he already trusts you, okay? But the understanding is that compassionate interrogation process from the outset where you're unearthing every bit of data, okay? And the only way you move on from one question is if you know in your head there is no more information I could get here, okay? What else do you want to know? Are all the decision makers present? Okay, Mr. So-and-so from Greater Oklahoma Detail Supply, is this company owned by you in its entirety? Or do you have a partner? Or do you have another decision maker that's a part of this process? I want to make sure I give you, and don't say, I don't want to waste my time without talking to both of you. Say something like, I want to make sure I get the data to the appropriate people. Is there somebody I should send the recording of today's call to? Yes, send it to Mary at ceo.com. Oh, okay. Now you know you've got multiple decision makers that need to be present, right? This is all part of what brought us here today, okay? This is all questions you need to get answered at the outset. Because what happens in selling? Ready to do business? No, I need my partner. There's 2 people that need to make this decision. Okay. Ready to do business today? No, I don't quite trust you. I don't know anybody that's done business with you. Right? And you're always going to run into these brick walls unless you use the paid to persuade discipline and you get the info at the outset, okay? So Vic, what we're going to be doing in these calls and what you're going to be learning as you go through the paid to persuade discipline and the online virtual training platform is that the goal in your life is to extract all the information from your customer at the outset. So when it comes time to get the deal, you're not asking them to buy anything. You're simply saying, well, Vic, based upon our conversation, based upon all of your needs, and based upon what our offering is, this is obviously the best decision for you. So my only curiosity from here is, do you want us to ACH out of your checking account, or do you want to put a debit card on a file with us that we're going to bill when we get your products each 30 days? And they're going to say, do the credit card. Okay, great. There's never going to need to be a, well, okay, so do you want to do it? Okay. I'd say ask Roger, but I don't want to look like I'm leaning on one of my employees. Guys, I can't tell you how many calls, and Roger's seen them, okay, where I'm talking to somebody and they just stop me while they're like, dude, yeah, I'm in, let's go. Let's like roll. Like they're, and he's smiling right now because it's like fucking magic. They're just like, yeah, dude, I'm like, let's go. I'm ready. Okay. Thousands of dollars. And it's because they don't, if they have an objection that we cannot overcome, I will find it at the outset. You will too. That's what I'm training you and teaching you to do. And what you need to be thinking every time that you view and you consume content off of this virtual training platform is I am looking at this information and receiving it because I want to become like a psychic. I want to get all the information I need at the outset, so when it comes time to close the deal, there's never an objection, okay? Non-objectionable selling is going to be the future of your life. It is going to be what has removed all the pain from your existence. It's what's going to propel you to wealth that you never fucking imagined. Pardon my French, but that's how passionate I am about this, okay? When you learn this discipline and you know that by talking to a customer, you know how to systematically, one by one, extract every little pain point from them. It's like, imagine a cork board with a bunch of thumbtacks in it, okay? At the end of the sale, all these thumbtacks are little objections they can poke you with that hurt and keep you from wanting to engage with them, and they gate you from the sale. What we're teaching you how to do is by virtue of compassionate interrogation, just go into each thumbtack as you're talking. What brought you here today? Oh, no kidding. What's your buying power? You ever leveraged the power of a bank before and paid for it over time, or do you usually pay cash? Interesting. I see that you're trading a vehicle. Are you trading the wife's vehicle or your vehicle? Oh, you're not married. There is no wife. Okay, boom, 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 boom. Next thing you know, okay, there's no other decision maker. They have the money. They're financing. They credit qualify. They're looking to move today. They've smashed up their trade-in vehicle. It's totaled. They have nothing to drive. They're in a rental car. The insurance check has come in. They've sent in their title. They're ready to move, and they're looking to get a car that we have on the lot that's in stock, ready for immediate delivery. Okay, and Mr. Customer, just out of curiosity, what did you hope to accomplish today by the time you left here? Oh, I mean, I'd like to try to buy a car. Great, follow me. And it's done. The only thing that will stand between you and closing the deal at that juncture is the product, okay? So they go out and test drive a car, the fucking wheel falls off, you might not make that sale even though you did your job, okay? You trying to pawn off some one-ply piece of crap towel as a great shop towel that'll be used for scrubbing white walls, you might not sell that product. Or if you're trying to pass off a subpar product as something that is industry standard, you might not sell that product. But the idea here and the reality is, as long as you're selling a quality product, you've got to believe in it. You have to believe in the product that you sell. If you don't, let me know. We can talk about that and how to find value in things that you don't at the outset. We can work on that as well. But the bottom line is this, Vic, okay? In this call today, what we developed and we solved for was the fact that you must be very aggressive when you price condition a customer, okay? And I'm using Laddie's terminology of price condition. I call it gauging the temperature, okay? When you gauge the temperature of a customer based on price, hey, Mr. Customer, so in order to engage with Oklahoma Detail Supply, we've got a minimum order of $500 a month. Most people are spending $1,000 to $1,200 a month. We do a great job for them, but just so you know, if you're looking to order $99 a month worth of shop towels, it's probably nothing that we're gonna fuel up a truck and drive it to the other side of Oklahoma for. So as long as you understand, probably $500 to $1,200 what you're gonna have to spend with us on a monthly basis, and that we're going to give you the best, absolute best customer service and product for that price point. I just need your permission to move forward. Yeah, go ahead. Okay, so just to be clear, you're aware $500 to $1,200 a month is kind of the entry point. That's what most of our customers are spending, and that's what we need to engage with you and be able to deliver for free and offer the services that we do. You're aware of that. Yes, I am. Okay, and then once you push to the point where they're like, yes, I am, I get it. You say, listen, Mr. Customer, understand, please, not everybody is as wealthy as you, successful as you, intelligent as you, whatever you want to use to gas them up, you're explaining to them why you asked the question. At my car dealerships, we ask a lot of questions that revolve around qualifying for credit because we get a lot of bad credit through there, where they're located and how we advertise, okay? So we ask the customer questions that qualify them for financing. You get somebody who's got an 850 credit score, 50 grand in the bank, and is just buying a cheap car for their 16-year-old daughter. You ask them and start explaining the 3 types of credit and whether they do or don't qualify. They're like, listen, my credit's fine, man. You don't have to ask these questions. Mr. Customer, understand that if based on what I see, if I were to, I would assume you have good credit and plenty of money in the bank. But you know how today's society is, and if I were to assume and not give you the same song and dance I give everybody else, I would be discriminatory. You understand? Yeah, I understand. Okay, so thank you for divulging that. I appreciate your honesty. Can I just get this, showing you a car now? Because that's what I like to do. Yes, please. Okay, great. And then they're off it. They're not upset. They don't feel offended anymore, okay? Well, Vic, yeah, we can spend, I know what it costs to buy detail supplies. Listen, Mr. Smith, here's the thing. I get a lot of up and coming entrepreneurs who get excited, they get on a call and they want to get their shop going and they're looking to buy like one thing of car soap from us and 2 sponges, and they think that they're going to get the whole purview of our services based on that expenditure. So I have to kind of be a little bit, I don't know, forward at the outset to make sure that I'm not wasting their time, okay? But thank you for volunteering that you know what it costs. I appreciate it. Let's move away from it and get to what's important, what your needs are in detailing products, okay? So, and we've talked the whole freaking phone call about price conditioning a more expensive product like a car for Eric or a window for Laddie, okay? So, guys, I hope today was a good call for you. I ran it a little past because we started a little late. Vic, I wish you could have made a little more of the call, but hopefully you got some value, okay? Here's the bottom line. Do not be afraid to get forward with gauging the temperature of your customer as far as price point. Because once you get them to say, yeah, I know what it costs, you've got a deal if you've got a good product, okay? And guys, understand, excuse me, that if you're not doing 3 to 4 modules a day, you're not optimizing for the best outcome and meeting your potential. Okay? All right. I hope you guys have an awesome week. In Central New York here, we actually have a little bit of frickin' sunshine, so I'm in a good mood. My Venetian blinds are making nice little stripes on the walls. Okay? I hope you guys crush it this week. I'm very excited to have somebody new on the call here, and we should probably have 2 more members by the next time I see you. So guys, thank you very much for your business. Go kick some ass this week, all right?
Thanks, Luke.
Yes, sir. Guys, what's up? Luke here at Paid to Persuade. Listen, man, I appreciate you checking out our content. If you want to engage with us further, hit like, follow, subscribe, the bell, the thumbs up, whatever is on the platform that you're checking us out on. We really appreciate you. And if you want to engage further, learn more about Paid to Persuade sales training, hit us up at paidtopersuade.com. Confidence, content, and cadence is the key to effective selling, and it's what we're bringing to the marketplace, and we're bringing it heavy.